Okay, the very important part of this course, the way Betsy's designed it, is for the community aspect. She's learned a lot from studying the 10-step process. There's 10 classes, there's 10 weeks. It's a 10-step process we're going through together. We're supporting each other. The first class teaches about healthy habits, lists over a dozen healthy habits, and then there's divided up into buddies that support each other through these weeks. And so 30 days, we've got a new habit. And then 30 more days, there's another new habit. And then 30 more days, the end of the 10 weeks, you've got 2 to 3 new habits that nobody had before. And this is why people take the course again and again and again, because you are making connections, you're teaming up with buddies, you're supporting someone through the process of transformation. And that's where the magic comes in, because here we're getting excited. Every time we take the course, we get a little more motivation to just do something a little step better, take care of ourselves a little better, reward ourselves a little bit better, which makes us feel good and a supporting cycle. And so thank you to everyone here for supporting each other and coming back as well.
The most important part for me is that everybody has the answers within them, and all that I do is help them get rid of the obstacles and the toxins. They all have put down the 3 reasons why they want to take the course, and we help them achieve those 3 reasons and objectives. And they all have a mission. Not everybody has a mission when they start, but when they end, they all want to not only help heal themselves and make the best that they can do, but go out and help everybody heal themselves.
I joined the Eat to Thrive class because I am a nutrition major in college, and I'm very interested to learn about different diets and lifestyles. And if a patient comes in, their vegan lifestyle, I need to know about that and be able to help them. But also for my personal benefit, I would like to change and alter my diet in order to live a healthier lifestyle. And it's been so intriguing and interesting so far. And I'm so excited to learn more about a vegan lifestyle.
I joined the Eat to Thrive course because I needed to lose some weight and I wanted optimum health for the rest of my life. And there are many diseases that come on to average Americans around 50 something, and I wanted to avoid them. I heard Brian Clement speak and I was so inspired. Betsy Bragg had her table there at the lecture and I signed up on the spot.
My second time I joined because I need to continue learning about nutrition and food and how food works in my body, because there are a lot of issues that I'm trying to heal in my body.
I joined the Eat to Thrive class because I really am getting away from eating meat right now. And it didn't taste good like it used to. And I was going more towards vegetarianism anyways. So I figured I better take a course and learn what I'm doing.
I joined because it seemed like the perfect follow-up to being at Hippocrates, continuing the education and the diet and the support.
I can do that.
The reason why we do centering at the beginning of every course is because it's the most important thing. No matter what you eat, if you eat it with anger, rage, frustration, stress, it's going to cause sickness. The emotions we feel every moment of the day, the stress we feel is the quality of our life. The illnesses that are caused are a direct result from the emotions we feel that we've held in our body. Stress is the number 1 reason why people get sick and ill. It's stress. It's emotional stress. The number 1 thing. So the first thing we can do is meditate. Why and work away our stresses. When we eat, the most important thing we can do, say grace. Why did these ancients know to say grace? Well, what does it do? The first thing that happens when we say grace, we become grateful. Having gratitude is a powerful tool for changing around how healthy we feel, how happy we feel. The emotions that we have while eating are the emotions we're taking in. So I'll say that again. The emotions we have while eating are the emotions we're taking in. By saying grace before eating, we bring ourselves to a wonderful state before eating, which is the most important thing we can do during the day. There was a study done by these in an adoption place for adopted children, for children that weren't adopted, I should say. And they did a study, and the only thing they did differently was they made sure the kids were running around like crazy, and they made sure the kids sat at least while they ate. And this reduced the disturbance levels by 50%, just having the kids sit down while they eat. So this is why it's so important to sit down while we eat, have good digestion while we eat, say grace, at least to ourselves before we eat. It used to be a common practice, but now it's not. The key thing is our emotional state for the rest of our during our day and through the rest. One doctor who I brought my dad to for his cancer healing would not see any patients unless he could answer these last two questions correctly. Is there anyone that you won't forgive? And then the last question was, do you forgive yourself? So unless you can get past those two questions, you cannot heal from any disease. So the emotions are the key factor in healing, in living an optimum life.
Centering is a really great activity to pursue, and especially coming when we're driving over here, there's a lot of traffic. I think it can get a little hectic. It's the end of the day, a little stressed, and we're thinking about our to-do list, but it's really great just to take 5 minutes for ourselves to clear our mind, breathe, relax, and know that everything is a-okay. It's all gonna be good.
Yes, I have applied centering in my life. I do it all the time now. I actually have meditated before and centered. I think it's great to do that, especially when you're having a tough day. Excuse yourself and perhaps go into a quiet place and do a little centering, even if it's only for 1 minute. It really helps you clear and move forward for the rest of the day.
In our course, at the beginning of each lesson, we take about 5 minutes and do what's called centering. And that is a little brief bit of meditation that you just quiet down and just let everything go, relax yourself. And I do use it when I can in my own life. It's very helpful when you're feeling stressed to just take a breath and take a few minutes to be quiet.
I try to just be still and be quiet and try to just quiet all that noise in my head. So I'll sit someplace and I will just do the best I can to think nothing at all.
In this course, there are kitchen demonstrations each week, and you're shown how to use equipment that you may have never used before. When you just read a recipe, it's sometimes very difficult to imagine yourself doing it, and it gets frustrating. So the demonstrations are very helpful.
I like the kitchen demonstrations because I have very little skills in the kitchen, and I need to learn more about how to use the machines and all the accessories that go along with it. And it's great to see other people demonstrate and learn from them, and it's also very interactive between everyone.
I love the kitchen demonstrations because we got to learn different equipment that I didn't have, like a spiralizer for vegetables. I have never heard of that before in my life.
I did a kitchen demonstration, and it was really great to practice in front of everyone and also be able to speak to everyone and also demonstrate at the same time.
No, it's good. No, it's good.
Pour it all in.
That's perfect.
I had not owned a juicer before. I had not even owned a food processor. And also how to prepare a raw vegan meal with this equipment. So it's very, very important.
The kitchen demonstrations are extremely knowledgeable because we actually get to see the kitchen equipment at work. So sometimes it can be intimidating to see this piece of kitchen equipment with 5 pieces put together. But then once you see it demonstrated, you're like, oh, I can do that. So if you ever thought, oh, I'd like to buy that, but it's too complicated, when you do this class, you'll see the demonstrations and it all becomes so simple. And we all take turns demonstrating on them, so it's fantastic.
It's all organic, and I just line them up. It's always good to have a good night. Better than meds. Meds just make me feel more tired, really.
I have done a dehydrating demonstration where we made kale chips in the class, flaxseed crackers, and a couple sugar snap peas.
Now we have our kale.
You can do this with Brussels sprouts, chard, spinach, any kind of vegetable you want. Now, another fun thing with kale chips that you can do is just depending on your mood. If you're feeling chipotle seasoning, some cayenne, something spicy, like whatever your heart's desire, oregano. These ones have oregano, lemon juice, and the coconut amino acids, which are great.
Let me test this.
Yeah, pass that around. Kind of just whatever mood you're in, make smaller batches with lots of different flavors. Put some orange juice on it, kind of like a summery thing. Yeah, there we go. Just line it up, spread them out nice and evenly. Hear that crunch.
How long were these dehydrated?
The kale chips were dehydrated overnight. I think they went a little bit longer than they could have.
I like
They're really crispy.
I like them raw.
Yeah.
The kale tastes like a pizza.
Yeah.
Now,
Oregano and bread. I mean, oregano and coconut aminos.
Coconut aminos, oregano, lemon juice.
can you put some spices in it, or
Yeah.
does anybody want to
Have
have any suggestions?
What do we got? We got basil water.
Yeah, who sent us the recipe? And for somebody that doesn't think they like vegetables, this
really
is really.
crunchy.
I feel like I'm eating pizza, but it's actually kale. This is delicious.
A bunch of things that
Mmm.
Now I am chopping up some peppers, which are going with our flax seeds crackers. Right here we have our soaked flax seeds, which is just whole flax seeds in water. We soak them. And then we're gonna blend them up because flax seeds aren't very well digested by our system. So by breaking it up, we'll be breaking it down. There's like a lot of fun to be had with dehydrating, doing flax crackers and different flavors that you can use. You can make something sweet or salty. You can add, I like making flaxseed crackers that have a bunch of different superfoods in them, like spirulina, hemp, cacao, or carob, a little bit of like stevia in it. Makes it sweet, but I'm just gonna add some lemon juice into this. You can add lime juice, anything kind of acidic just to give it some flavors. So now we're going to pour this onto the Paraflex sheet, which you can easily buy off eBay if you have a dehydrator and it didn't come with them. So you're just going to go ahead and glove that right on. Even spread. You can make these as thin or as thick as you want. You can make them like crackers even. I kind of just break them apart with my hands. This is the finished product. You can do it as thick or as thin as you desire.
I really like that.
Like it a little bit thicker, it gives it some character.
I liked all the kitchen demonstrations. I was thinking of another one that I really enjoyed, and that was the rubbed kale. I don't rub kale. I eat a lot of kale. I've had kale in my garden until this year the groundhog ate it. But I've not rubbed kale, and it was so, so good.
And then we've also done a demonstration where we made a raw kale salad, which was macerated in lemon juice.
You can feel it.
I always say there's a little extra iron.
Alright, I'm gonna give this another squeeze and turn before we add the avocado, because then it's going to turn into quite the mush express. And you can also, if you'd like to taste it, see if it's salty enough.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Good, salty enough?
Yeah, I like salty, but I'll
Alright,
salt it when I put it on.
so you just scoop and done.
And there's just so much equipment, and I'm glad I got to see everything and how it worked.
What I learned through the kitchen demonstrations is that some of the some of the kitchen items that we use to make our raw dishes are vital. So while some of them are very inexpensive and some of them are very expensive, I've, over the years of starting this journey, have learned to pick and choose, what am I going to buy this year? And so it's however you want to do it, but it is pretty important. And if you go with the good one, the expensive one, it's going to keep for 10 years plus. You're going to have it for a long time.
During the Eat to Thrive class, every class we have this glorious 5-meal dinner, and everyone brings a different item and different dish. Soups, salads, appetizers, desserts, everything you can possibly think of.
We have a 5-course raw meal. When I took the class the first time, blew my mind. If you're new to raw food eating, you think, oh, well, I'm just going to be eating carrots and celery and juicing and nothing delicious. But we all get assigned different courses of these meals, and we all bring together this 5-course meal, and it's amazing. We have ravioli that makes you never miss cheese ravioli, and we have spaghetti that it's amazing. And you eat this meal and you're thinking to yourself, whoa, this was amazing, and you feel better. So it really kind of allows you to be aware that you can eat a delicious, beautiful meal, and it's all raw, and it's all vegetables and fruits, and it's perfect.
Oh yeah, the 5-course meal, I think that's, you know, it's so funny. It's like one thing is better than the other, but I think really that does top it, because we do share recipes. Everything has been delicious. I started out when I went to the potluck dinner, and after I tried everything, it was so good, I thought, I can do this. Yes, everybody contributes. So it is a learn as you go program. As a matter of fact, I have the book right here.
In this course, each week the students are responsible to bring one dish. We're assigned ahead of time, whether it be an appetizer, a salad, or a main course, and we then have a 5-course meal that is different recipes that we've never experienced before. And we bring along the recipe. So you go home with new dishes. There are 16 students. You'll go home with 16 new recipes, and you've tasted them, so you know the ones you'd like to use and the ones you maybe don't want to use.
It's amazing. Who knew that vegan food could taste so fresh and delicious? And it's been so much fun to watch everyone get creative with their recipes throughout the course.
The 5-course meal is wonderful. Everybody is assigned a kind of dish, and it rotates. Every week we bring a different kind of dish. We have appetizers, we have salads, we have main courses, we have more salads, we have soup, and we have a dessert. For tonight's meal, I made nut patties. And since I don't have a dehydrator, I didn't have any way to make patties out of them. I don't think they really need it, but they would be drier if I had one. So I put them in these old Jell-O molds. Remember those? They're very good. They're made with, you want to know? Okay, they're made with almond and pecans. These two have no onions in them, so they're for Betsy. And they have parsley, tarragon and rosemary from my garden, and carrots and onions, as I say, salt, and some spices, some Cajun spices, because I didn't have any curry. I make my own mix. So that's what I made, and I have tasted it, and I think it's very good. They're always lovely. People can look online and get recipes. They can look in Betsy's book and get recipes. They can make up their own recipes, which has been done. They're always really, really good.
I thoroughly enjoyed Betsy's Eat to Thrive book because there's a lot of knowledge in there in the first beginning part, but there's also recipes in the back. So it functions as a multi-purpose book that I can always refer to from now well into my future.
Betsy's Eat to Thrive book is fantastic because for me, I can always go to the recipes. She's got amazing recipes in that book. We'll eat them throughout the class, but it's nice to be able to go through and look up certain things, like she has facts in there about food and digestion and how it works in your body. So whenever I do kind of forget or kind of get lax in my life, I can always refer back to that book to refresh myself on the lessons that I learned and why they're so important.
I have the book right here. And it has all the recipes in there. It has your lessons. And because I'm a newbie, I went by the book and I thought the recipes were awesome.
Betsy Bragg's Eat to Thrive book is a wealth of knowledge. It's very easy to read and yet just loaded with information. And the recipes in the back I still use every day. I've been through the course 4 times and this is like my Bible. I read it and I've reread. I've probably read the book cover to cover 4 times. And I get something new out of it every single time because there's just so much information in there.
There's great recipes within it, awesome points about detoxing, whether from skin brushing to enemas. There's just basically all the information that you could really need within this diet and lifestyle.
You can use it as a reference. You can share it with other people. It's valuable. It has recipes in the back, so you can experiment with all those recipes. I think this course would not have as much impact if it didn't have a book.
I have really enjoyed the educational DVDs throughout the Eat to Thrive course. I recently watched a genetic roulette one about GMOs, and it's really fascinating to learn about it and have the educational part of the course. And you take it home with you, so it's not I'm learning just on Thursdays, I'm learning throughout the week about new information.
So every time that we got a DVD and the homework corresponded with it, I read it, and then we would have the speaker the next week that would correspond with what we read. And I thought, wow, this is really good because it really drives home everything.
In the Eat to Thrive course, each week you're sent home with 3 DVDs full of information. They're lectures, and I find them just invaluable. Those I have watched over and over, and you just I can't say enough about the DVDs. Wow.
There are lots of fun DVDs, like Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead was really cool. I liked that DVD a lot. Really inspirational for raw juicing and information.
I loved the DVDs. Each week we had a couple DVDs, 2, sometimes 3. This week, the last one that I watched, which was part 2 of this woman Dorit, was fabulous. I mean, she is so healthy, she is so vibrant looking, and she has such wisdom to share about not just eating. She says if somebody wants to change their eating to life force food or a whole food, plant-based food, living food, it won't work. They'll say, oh, it doesn't work for me, unless they change their lifestyle. And this is what Betsy talks about, changing your lifestyle. Some of the DVDs were about different ideas, not just food. And so that was very valuable.
In the Eat to Thrive course, each week there is a guest speaker or instructor, and they cover a different topic. They have all been amazing. The class always runs over because the students have so many questions and are so involved. The number 1 speaker for me was her son, Tom, who spoke on cleanse and detoxifying your body. so important, and the importance of exercise in detoxing.
Betsy's son had a great story of how he detoxed, and that's how I feel right now. I feel my body's going through a detox and a cleanse, and I feel I have more energy right now.
What I try to do is try to give them an analogy that will empower them to take action. It's really these simple habits that change our lives. For instance, we talked about skin brushing, and one woman said, "I don't have time." Well, I knew her personally, and I said, well, you spend 5 minutes a day wiping off your marble shower with a squeegee. And so you're telling me your possessions are worth more than you are? She's like, oh, I get it. So all of a sudden she understands why she needs to skin brush, getting rid of her cellulite, detoxing her body, and it makes sense to her. Boy, these things are where we need to focus on our time. My sister says that if you spend more time in your possessions than you spend on yourself, your possessions are smarter than you are. So I like to give people analogies that help them understand why we do certain things. I say, well, I tried this diet or I tried that diet and nothing happened. So I talk about cleansing because I want to see results. And it might take a little more time. I'm a little more extreme than the average person, but I want to put an analogy that works. For instance, why cleanse? Why can't I just eat healthy and I be healthy? Well, imagine a stream running into an old swimming pool, and that old swimming pool has a foot of muck on the bottom. That stream of pure spring water can run into that swimming pool for years, and it's never going to clean that foot of muck off the bottom of the swimming pool. So I teach them in this detox class about stirring up that muck, getting it clean, removing the waste from the swimming pool, cleaning the filters that get clogged up like you would on a fish tank, the charcoal filter on a fish tank, the bubbler, making sure all these different organs work properly in the body. So by talking about detoxing with the breath, the kidney, the liver, the skin, bringing this into a functional system that works for the person. So in other words, rather than just that pure water coming in the stream, changing that diet, having the ultra pure diet, that's one thing, but learning to stir up the swimming pool, getting the muck out, so if a fish is sick, we change the water. So if a fish is sick in our fish tank, we're going to clean the stones in the bottom of the tank. We're going to clear out all those stones, put them on the side, wash them separately, change all the water, bring the fish in a little baggie, put them over on the side, have all clean water, pure environment, clean stones, clean filter, nice bubbler, oxygen, liver, kidneys, put the fish back in, voila, it gets healthy very quickly. So by taking a common sense approach, using analogies where people can understand, empowering them to make a change. I see that life is about cleansing. I mean, 5,000 years ago, we had the Ayurvedic and Chinese systems which take into account the emotions and balancing the body. But neither of those systems had to deal with the amount of toxins in today's environment, from the water to the air to the food we eat, to the plastics we drink, from the metals that is in our air, everything. So the vaccines that are put in our body have particles of aluminum in them and mercury in the flu shots. These things, we have mercury in our fillings. All these toxins build up in our livers, our kidneys, our tissues, and unless we take an active role of cleansing them, we won't be able to keep that homeostasis where Ayurveda and Chinese medicine may kick in, and homeopathic medicine will kick in. So it's up to us to really say, okay, how can I purify each day? And so we teach people from everything from the breath to the liver cleanse, to the gallbladder cleanse. We stay basically from the bottom up, starting with the lower intestines, and then working up through the kidney, the liver, and then I think the most important part is the small intestine. It's also the hardest cleanse to do. So it takes some preparation. I talk about the small intestines because I got over my hypersensitivity to and allergies to many types of food that built up due to my career in a painting company. So I literally had to quit and maybe move out to Arizona, or the way I understood it was to remove the toxic metals and chemicals from my system, which I did through the small intestine cleanse. So by getting those results, I could eat apples again, I could work with paint again, I could be in a dusty house again, I could eat hazelnuts, I could eat all almonds, fruits with skins, all these things which I could never eat before. Now I can eat with ease. So having this empowering knowing what changes are possible from whatever symptoms they label a medical disease. These things are within our power. We're teaching people to be not to fear cancer and disease. That these things are a life's lessons to teach us about our own body, our own emotions, where we may be blocked, physically and emotionally. And also encouraging people with the spirit, like a horse's spirit, to make a change in their life, to get excited, to jump for joy. So the steps you have to take the body to the next level of purity, to take the body to the next level of cleanliness, to take the body to the next level of energy, where we can support each other to nourish ourselves and thrive.
My name is Jonathan Fan. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I practice Oriental medicine since 2004 in the United States. Before that, I was in Taiwan. I got training in Taiwan since '92. Oriental medicine offers a lot of things about health. In basic class, the title of the class I shared was Ancient Wisdoms, Review Ancient Wisdom of Health. So ancient have a lot of wisdoms we can learn from. Mostly talk about balance. It's not just talking about the balance of our body, but also the balance about the body and mind. So in the class, I also review about the body, what we can eat, what kind of exercise we can do to gain the general healthy. For example, like if I am certain type of the body, what kind of food I should eat more to balance myself. That's all well in the class, we share a lot. If someone is overweight, they always curious about they want to losing weight. Unfortunately, sometimes even they watch out what they eat, they still gain weight. In Chinese medicine, mainly because the body is blockage, so energy not flowing smoothly. So in that case, you need to know your body first. So in the class, we talk about the balance about yin and yang. Yin is more like cold. Some people is cold, pale. Even they have gained weight, but they are more like water weight on that. Some people actually it's because they eat too much of the meat or it gains a lot of heat, so they have more like red complexions. Always have very old smells, very strong smells. So that kind of is more like young type. So on the diet, actually you need balance. If you're too young, means you have a lot of hot. You cannot eat more spicy food. You need to eat more something can cooling you down, which that can help you losing weight. On the other hand, if someone is the yin type, which they already gain a lot of water, so you need to eat some spicy food to burn down their calories so they can easily helping them to losing weight. So even people are obesity, but because they're different type of body, they need a different kind of food helping them balance. That's why we will come in here, we will differentiate what kind of body you are and what kind of food you can eat more and to balance your own health. So Oriental medicine actually is a very natural way. So you will look at your tongue showing all the map of your own health. Also you will pause, we're talking about what kind of meridian or channel is blockage. Later on we'll show you how the meridian channel looks like. And also we will pop your stomach, know which part of your organs is imbalanced. So through all these three ways of diagnosis helping us to differentiate what kind of body type you are. So through understand your body type, so we can give you a really correct recommendation what kind of food you can eat. Even eat very healthy or organic, but if you eat the wrong way, you still cannot lose weight that way. All right, so we are talking about the meridians. Meridian actually is the energy pathway in our body. So you can see that this model, her body, there's a lot of line there. It looks like there's a line from the head, but it can connect all the way to the feet. So that's why when you got Oriental medicine treatments, even you have headaches, but acupuncturists may put a needle on your hand or your feet, still can treat your headache because the meridians connect to each other. For example, Mass Pike can drive from Massachusetts all the way down to the West Coast. So the line there is exactly like this. So if some place have the traffic jam, for example, if we are going to west on the Mass Pike, Worcester have a lot of traffic jams. Everything was stuck in there. When you drive in the car on your way to the Springfield, but unfortunately you were stuck in the Worcester area because of so many of the cars in the road. So your body actually, when you're stuck in the traffic, nobody feel happy about it. Same thing in our body when energy is not moving smoothly. For example, they got blockage on your shoulder area. So what happened is you cause a lot of joint achiness and soreness and pain. So Oriental medicine try to unblock the blockage. Make sure that all the traffic jam was opened up, the construction is fixed, so everything can move in smoothly way. So when you're driving on the highway, there's no problem at all. Same thing like that body. When energy pathway is opened up, there's no pain. Our body is getting healthy again. So that's how the meridian trying to find out long time ago, almost 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. Right now, still working for all kinds of the problems.